Nama, come and help me back into the fullness that I am. Let me not run from your darkness or my darkness, but stand in its power of revealing its balance of knowing. Let me place your garment of power upon my soul, freeing us both from the shame of the dark beauty that the soul of the world brings.
And let us chant together the invocation to the Dark Mother of the Night, Kali Ima Ne Ama. 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 To the glory of the triple goddess, we kindle the light, invoking the dark crone of wisdom and dissolution.
Come, Igorette, open our minds, crone of the dark, that we may know the truth of your destructive nature, that we may feel its liberating power for all humanity. Let us not turn our faces away, but be willing to see the vision of the night in our own souls and that of the world. Help us to cease fearing and trembling so we may stand firmly in our grand being, knowing war and peace to be one, one with us, one with all, revealing your secret wisdom of true life.
And let us chant the invocation to the dark crone of wisdom and dissolution, Kali Igoret Sophia.
Kali
Igoret Sophia. Kali Igoret Sophia. Kali Igoret Sophia. Kali Igoret Sophia. Kali Igoret Sophia. Kali Igoret Sophia. Kali Igoret Sophia. Please join me as we sing an invocation to these three faces of the dark new moon. And tonight we'll use Kali Kala Lila 2. Kali vibration of those holy names for a moment, after which we will be led in a meditation by Anna.
So we come into our breath and the spaciousness of our mother ground. We invite the dark daughter bride, Kali Kala. Invite her into your space and into your heart. Kali Kala, come. You may envision her with long black hair, green piercing eyes, dressed in a flowing black robe with an inner white brilliance. Begin to breathe with her, letting her energy infuse your being. Let her dance on your soul and open those places that remain closed and afraid. Bring your fear of surrender, your vulnerabilities, and let them go out on your breath. In their place, breathe in her breath of strength and power. So we breathe out our vulnerabilities, our fears, our insecurities, and we breathe in the strength and power of Lilith. And keep doing this, letting your vulnerable and powerful energy mingle together and become as one. So when we are complete, and this mixture of vulnerabilities and strength and power can be a practice that we do for the day, that we breathe in our vulnerabilities and remember Eve, Kala, and breathe out, remembering the strength and power of Lilith and the Kali energy. And here is a prayer for our vulnerable strength. Lilith, fly toward me now. Show me your terrifying beauty, your desire and strength to fall into the dark of the night sky. Show me it here, within. Don't let me turn aside or around or fidget or leave. Come, Lilith, show me the way. Eve, there is no shame. You too can come and tremble and shake and cry if you need to. There is room here in this inn. Come, Eve, let's go. Come, Eve, let go. And we give thanks. We give thanks to Eve and to Lilith.
Goddess of the dark moon, restorer of life, we thank you for your presence here tonight, and we bid you farewell until we next meet in your darkness. Bless us and restore us to readiness for what lies ahead. Go in peace. And I'll stand if you choose to do so as we have our closing affirmations, or you can just be seated and repeat these words after me. I am radiant awareness.
I am radiant awareness.
I am, and I am becoming. Ya Mariam, blessed be. Blessed be. So I'm going to let Anna lead, open up for sharing while I set up for our class. And I can hear you, but I'm going to put myself off the video.
Right.
So, and I'm sorry about that. I just had a senior moment. I couldn't remember the affirmations. So,
It's all right. I had a senior moment in the beginning and I forgot to press record, so we missed a little bit of the new moon ritual. But anyway, I'll explain that when I send it out.
okay, good. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay, so we want to have a little bit of a sharing time about how the practice was with the first power from last time, and the first power that we did on love and compassion. You know, I eat the fruit of love and compassion, and I am freed from judgment and wrath.
Can I ask a question? Isabelisa?
Yes.
Could you please unshare your screen so we can see the faces more?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, thank you.
No, that's probably why I couldn't get the speaker view before. Oh, very good. Okay, so I can kick it off and I can tell you I had a bit of an experience with a cat one night, and he was really obstreperous and meowing and really being very difficult. I was very judgmental about him, and it really got my wrath going. So I did the practice of I eat the fruit of love and compassion and Adonai Haaretz. And I might have even done some Ho'oponopono, but mainly I calmed down, and then I found actually that the cat calmed down, strangely enough. So that was a good test of my judgment and wrath for sure. Now over to you. Anyone else have an experience where they tested the power of the first fruit?
I'd just like to ask, does that work with Andrew too?
Testing it out. Yes, it essentially does. I think that practice works with anything, but the cat was a good one to practice on.
Start small and cuddly.
So has it?
I could share a little bit.
Yes.
I've had a lovely journey this last fortnight, including the Adonai Haaretz. I've listened to it, downloaded from Bandcamp, which you can do at no cost, which has been great, and listen to that every day. And one morning, actually, I remember I had it on my little phone with me when I was going down to the beach to do my Qigong. And I did my Qigong with Adonai Haaretz, which just felt really beautiful. The kingdom and the queendom of heaven. So I've loved working or playing with that. And I've eaten the fruit of love and compassion, and I am freed from judgment and wrath. I've every day, at some point, just brought that into my awareness, and I've shared it with a few people about doing this journey with you all, and the Magdalena energy, and these. Yeah, something about studying the foundation of the Kabbalah and the Tree of Life. I've never studied, and I went online and started surfing around on Google and getting some neat pictures and stuff. And I loved it how the Malkuta or the Mal at the root, and that Magdalena resides in the roots and the foundation of this Tree of Life. So I'm loving that we're bringing in that feminine aspect of it. So I'm looking forward to the next power and being on this journey with it. Gitanjali, it's the first power is something like, I eat of the fruit of love and compassion, and I am freed from judgment and wrath, or wrath, depending where you live. Thank you so much.
Yay, thank you.
Phoenix.
Gitanjali, did you have something to share? You need to.
Well, I'm not sure yet, but I'll come that with Jim, what you were just speaking about. I don't have a cat. I'll just have to go to the big thing first. But yeah, I'll come back to you on that.
Great. Anyone else have some experience with doing the first power in the last couple of weeks?
Oh, actually, I do. Let me turn myself on. Okay.
Oh, yes.
As recently as this afternoon, my wrath kicked in. There was a meeting that was planned for this morning that didn't go as planned, and it was very frustrating. And I was in one of those states where, I was preparing for that one and preparing for this one and feeling a bit overwhelmed, and it just I just kind of exploded. And I heard it. I just heard it. I eat the fruit of love and compassion, and I am freed from judgment and wrath. There was some judgment going on too. And I thought, just wow, how accessible these affirmations are, and that they're in there. If you repeat them on a regular basis, not even, it doesn't have to be daily, but the more often, they work just like any other affirmations. They just become part of your toolbox, and what you need comes forth when you need it. So I was impressed with the practice. I hadn't experienced it quite that quickly in a situation until today. So I thought, this really works.
Yes, nothing like practice. That's why it said you have to do spiritual practice so you can remember it when you need it.
They say that anything you practice for 40 days becomes then it becomes part of your routine or your ritual, your daily ritual. So
You're conscious. Very good. I think we're ready to start, unless there's somebody else who wants to do some sharing. Okay, let's start with the second power.
Before we begin, I want to read to you from the Gospel of the Beloved Companion. Last week we shared the Gospel from the Gnostic Gospel of Mary Magdalene, and then I read from the Beloved Companion up through the first power. So I wanted to complete the reading of the gospel so that you will hear it, have it in its entirety. And I found it very helpful, having read both of the versions of the gospel, to be able to get something from each one. The one that we're using from the Gospel of the Beloved Companion resonated to me very strongly, and I think because it seems to be the complete story. As you know, in the Gnostic Gospel, there are pages missing, and you just don't really know. So this feels very, very complete to me. So I wanted you to, at least, if you haven't read it, to hear it in its entirety. And so I'm going to start with the first power, and then finish it through to the end, which is not really very much reading. But I think it will help you get an overall feeling for this gospel. And as he said these things, I felt my soul ascend, and I saw the first great bough that bears the fruit of love and compassion, the foundation of all things. And I knew that before you can eat of this fruit and gain its nourishment, you must be free of all judgment and wrath. When you have freed yourself of these burdens, you may eat of the fruit and so gain the love and compassion that will allow you to pass the first of 7 guardians. And I heard the voice of the Lord of Wrath calling to me, but I denied him, and he had no part in me. And now we come to the second power. So I saw my soul ascend again, and he showed me the second great bough, weighed down with the fruit of wisdom and understanding. And I saw that before you can taste of its bounty, you must be free of all ignorance and intolerance. Only then can you eat of the fruit, and so pass upward unhindered through the second of the 7 gates. And I heard the voice of ignorance call to me, but I knew him not, and so my soul did thus unchallenged. Then my master showed me the third great bough, which bears the fruit of honor and humility. Only when free of all duplicity and arrogance may you partake of its nourishment. And arrogance called to me, saying, You are not worthy, go back. But my soul was deaf to him, and so moved onward and upward into increasing light. And then there came the fourth bough, blossoming with the fruit of strength and courage. And I heard him tell me that to eat of this fruit you must have freed yourself from the weakness of the flesh, and confronted and conquered the illusion of your fears. And the master of the world stood before me and claimed me as his own, but I denied him, and he had no part of me. Only then, my master told me, when you have rejected the deceiver, can you pass through the hardest gate of all to attain the 5th bough and the fruit of clarity and truth. Only then will you know the clarity and truth of your soul, and knowing yourself for the first time, understand that you are a child of the living Spirit. And as my soul moved upward, I realized that I could no longer hear the voice of the world, as all had become as silence. Then in the light above, I saw the 6th bough, the one that bore the fruit of power and healing. My master told me that when you truly have eaten of the fruit of the clarity and truth of yourself, then could you partake of the fruit of power and healing. The power to heal your own soul and thereby make it ready to ascend to the 7th bough, where it will be filled by the fruits of light and goodness. And I saw my soul, now free of all darkness, ascend again to be filled with the light and goodness that is the Spirit. And I was filled with a fierce joy as my soul turned to fire and flew upwards in the flames, from whence my master showed me the 8th and final bough, upon which burned the fruit of the grace and beauty of the Spirit. And I felt my soul and all that I could see dissolve and vanish in a brilliant light, in a likeness unto the sun. And in the light I beheld a woman of extraordinary beauty, clothed in garments of brilliant white. The figure extended its arms, and I felt my soul drawn into its embrace, and in that moment I was freed from the world, and I realized that the fetter of forgetfulness was temporary. From now on, I shall rest through the course of the time of the age in silence. And then, as if from a great distance, I heard the voice of my master tell me, Miriam, whom I have called the Migdala, now you have seen the all, and have known the truth of yourself, the truth that is I am. Now you have become the completion of completions. This is what my master has told me and shown me, and only from the truth I tell you that all that I have revealed to you is true. When the Migdala had told of all that Yeshua had said and done, she fell silent, since it was in that silence that Yeshua had spoken with her and revealed these truths. So let's just sit with that for a moment. Breathing in the words, breathing in the story of Mary's ascent, led by Master Yeshua. Listen and hear what comes forth from within, from the vibration of these words. So please join me as we say the Mary's Rosary prayer together. You'll see it on the screen if you don't have it on your sheet. Blessed are you, Miriam, for you did not waver at the sight of the risen Master. You who were his companion and whom he loved more than any other woman. Holy Bride, Apostle of the Apostles, be at my right shoulder as I walk forth in the infinite light, and bless me with your eternal presence. Amen. So tonight, before we do our rosary practice, I want to teach you the Kabbalistic cross, which is a part of our opening ritual that we perform before we begin the practice. We have a diagram, and I'm going to stand up and demonstrate for you. So let me tilt my screen just a tad. Okay. So it's not up yet. So I'll talk a little bit about it while we're waiting for the... we need to hear you, Anna. Do you want me to find it and put it up? Unmute yourself.
Yeah.
Thanks, what? Do you want me to...
Yes, I somehow lost it from the share screen. So,
Okay.
because I had it before.
Yeah. Well, keep looking and I'll talk about it, and then if you can't
I'll
find
look.
it, I'll put it up.
Yeah.
So this is an invocation of light that is a Kabbalistic practice, and it uses the in Hebrew the last line of the Lord's Prayer. For thine is the power and the kingdom and the glory forever. Amen. And so those words are Ata, Malkut, Ve Gebura, Ge Vedula, Le Alam, Amin, Amen. And as we do this practice, we start out with 2 fingers of each hand. The left hand is down, facing the earth, and the right hand is up, pointing to the heavens. And as we do this, we are visioning a beam of light that's coming down from the heavens, and we're going to draw that light down through all of our chakras, down to the earth chakra beneath our feet. And then we bring our hand back up, and this is my right shoulder. There you go. There's our androgynous person. So we're here at the right shoulder when we say Vege Dula, and then we cross over to the left shoulder, Vege Bula. Sorry, I just had another senior moment. Vege Bura, Vege Dula. It rhymes, so we shouldn't have to forget it. And then crossing our arms, our hands over our heart, Le'olam Amin. So let's just say this together, and we'll you can practice it with me, and then I will do it intoning the Hebrew words so that you can hear how that sounds. So we're when we say Ata, we're drawing the light down to our third eye, and then Malkut, bringing the light down, pointing down to the earth chakra beneath our feet. Vege Bura, right shoulder. Vege Dula, left shoulder. Le'olam Amin. So after we do this one final time, then we'll say the Kabbalistic invocation, which is on your sheet, and Anna will post that up, and then we'll start the practice. Ata Malkut Vege Bura Vege Dula Le'olam Amin. And then we want to vision that light, and we're going to do this silently, making the cross with our head movements.
It's too much, too noisy.
And as we say Amin, we see the light in our hearts as a vibrating, rotating circle of light that has brought all of that power and glory into our being. Le'olam Amin. So if you can, we'll be sending out this diagram as a handout when we send out the recording, and you can practice it at home and make it part of your rosary practice as an invocation. So let's say the Kabbalistic invocation together. Holy art thou, O Lord of our universe. Holy art thou, whom nature hath not formed. Holy art thou, O vast and mighty one, Lord of the light and of the darkness. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. So, the way we would normally do this is begin with the invocation and then do the Kabbalistic cross. Let's go back up to the little diagram just for a minute, Anna. The second power is located in the 9th Sephiro on the Tree of Life, just above Malkut. Back down, please. There. We're talking about this. The little Sephiro there, okay. So you see the Hebrew words there for our divine name for this power is Shaddai El Kai. Shaddai El Kai. And we will be chanting that a little later during the practice. That means Almighty Living God. And also there is an ancient Shaddai was an ancient name for the great goddess in Old Hebrew. And so Shaddai had the connotation of hills a range of hills that flowed, and they resembled the breasts of the mother. And so one way we could define this divine name is Almighty Living One of Flowing Breasts. Another aspect of this is that the Shaddai originally, of course, was considered a feminine name, but later in the Kabbalah the El Kai was added, which gave it more of a masculine connotation. And so there's been some dissent over the real gender. Of course, God has no gender, so why do we do that? But what I have felt about this is really just another example of the divine union, of a merging of the masculine and the feminine qualities within us. And so to me is perfectly fine. It really has no one gender. So Shaddai El Kai has a lot of power to it. So we're going to begin with our rosary practice. We begin with our first big bead for the Aramaic prayer or any form of the Lord's Prayer that you would care to recite. Avun de Bashamaya, Nit Kaddish Shemak, Tete Malkuta, Nekwe Sivianak Ikana de Bashmaya Afba Ar Havlan Lakma de Sun Kunan Yamana, Wash Baklan Halvain Waktahain, Ikana Dafkanan Shwokanal Hayavain, Wela Tachlan Lena Suna, Ela Patsan Min Bisha, Matul de la Hemal Kuta, Wahaila Watesh Bukta, La Alam Amin, Amen. Ya Mariam. In our opening prayer, I rise from the darkness, which is the root of the tree of life, and reach the light that is the eternal life of the Spirit. Amen. And then we come to our first connector bead, and we will say the Mary prayer. We will announce the power, the second power, and then we will chant the divine name one time. Blessed are you, Miriam, for you did not waver at the sight of the risen Master, you who were his companion, and whom he loved more than any other woman. Holy Bride, Apostle of the Apostles, be at my right shoulder as I walk forth in the infinite light, and bless me with your eternal presence. Amen. The second power. I eat the fruit of wisdom and understanding, and I am freed from ignorance and intolerance. Shaddai El Kai. And then we say 7 times the second power on our first 7 beads. I eat the fruit of wisdom and understanding, and I am freed from ignorance and intolerance. I eat the fruit of wisdom and understanding, and I am freed from ignorance and intolerance. I eat the fruit of wisdom and understanding, and I am freed from ignorance and intolerance. I eat the fruit of wisdom and understanding, and I am freed from ignorance and intolerance. I eat the fruit of wisdom and understanding, and I am freed from ignorance and intolerance. I eat the fruit of wisdom and understanding, and I am freed from ignorance and intolerance. I eat the fruit of wisdom and understanding, and I am freed from ignorance and intolerance. And we come to the second connector bead. We say the Mary prayer. We say the second power, and then we'll say the holy name 7 times. Blessed are you, Mariam, for you did not waver at the sight of the risen Master. you who were his companion and whom he loved more than any other woman. Holy Bride, Apostle of the Apostles, be at my right shoulder as I walk forth in the infinite light, and bless me with your eternal presence. Amen. The second power. I eat the fruit of wisdom and understanding, and I am freed from ignorance and intolerance. And we can chant together, Shaddai El Kai. 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 And now we'll breathe in Shaddai El Kai. Breathe out. Breathe in Shaddai. Breathe out El Kai. Blessed are you, Mariam, for you did not waver at the sight of the risen Master, you who were his companion and whom he loved more than any other woman. Holy Bride, Apostle of the Apostles, be at my right shoulder as I walk forth in the infinite light, and bless me with your eternal presence. Amen. The second power. I eat the fruit of wisdom and understanding, and I am freed from ignorance and intolerance. Shaddai El Kai. And now we go to our closing. I rise from the darkness, which is the root of the tree of life, and reach the light that is the eternal life of the Spirit. I am free to remember eternity. Amen. Ya Mariam, Avun de Bashamaya. So we'll just sit in silence for a moment, breathing in this practice, freeing ourselves from ignorance and intolerance. Toda Rabbah Elohim. Thank you, God. Amen. So before we begin our sharing, Anna, let's just go down to our additional names here. Just to show you, we have a number of different versions of these mantras have come through during the week from the Arabic, Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek. So you have these to use in your practice if you're drawn to any of them. What I was most noticing as some of these came through to me, and then I know Anna had given us the Arabic, the Ya Hakim and the Ya Hakam, or Hakam or Hakam. But the fifth line of the Aramaic prayer came up for me during the week, and it contains both the qualities of the power as well as the quality of the divine name. We have the Almighty Living One, and we have the bread, which is understanding and insight. So I just was kind of amazed at what comes up, from other practices that I've used. I'm sure this occurs with all of you, so it's not unique. But for this particular rosary practice, I'm finding it such an expansion of what we can do and what we can invoke that all resonates with the power itself. So I invite you just to play with those in the next 2 weeks and see what comes up for you. And I hope you'll share those with us when we come back.
Great idea, Amina, because then the first power we would have had Te Te Malkuta.
Yes,
Yeah, for
absolutely.
the line of the so each of the power would correspond maybe to a line of the Lord's Prayer. Let's see.
Yeah, let's see what happens. Yeah.
Yeah. Very good.
So, any thoughts or questions or sharing that you'd like to do while we're in the energy of this power?
Yes, I've got a question.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. Okay, just with the second power and the Shaddai Al Kai, can you say a bit more about the meaning of that chant and how it links into the second power of the wisdom and understanding?
Well, um, what we're doing is starting at the bottom of the tree with Malkut, and there is a God name already associated with each of the Sephirot of the Tree of Life. So I don't. I wondered when the system sort of created itself, how to do that. How to bring that divine name into meaning with the power. And what I've come to feel about it is that it's the vibration that is associated with that particular Sephirot, um, and that's where that power resides. So it's more like the power becomes an aspect of Yesud instead of Yesud being an aspect of the power, if you see what I mean. There are a number of correspondences associated with each of the Sephirot. Not only God names, but gemstones, tarot cards, animals, plants, all sorts of things that you can invoke and attune to that particular Sephirot. So that is the only explanation I can give you at this point. That's so we're just bringing in a particular vibration, and we can only work with it and see where it takes us with the power that's associated with that Sephiroth. Does that help?
A little bit. I feel like I'm right at the beginning of this journey
Yeah.
and I'll just bring it all in as it comes and keep playing with the vibrations and see how that unfolds.
And
Yeah.
that's why we felt it's important to suggest these alternatives or additional names that you can use, because you might resonate more to one of those than to the Hebrew. So that's part of that process. But as Mary continues to tell me, all will be revealed. The mystery will be revealed.
Oh, we just got a flash with because I was impressed when you talked about Shaddai El Chai and how it brought the feeling and creative energy. And I thought, wow, that divine feminine aspect weaving itself from the foundation of Malkut and Malkutah that we had into the Shaddai, the fullness of the flowing breasts,
Yes.
and the breasts that nurture the rest of the tree of life. It's like if the roots of the tree don't have enough nutrients, if you don't get the good stuff from the soil, you can't grow. So I just was impressed about how Shaddai was still there, at the second power, but coming up the tree, providing that nurturance and substance for our feeling creative energy. And then I was just thinking really how that links into with Lilith and Eve, what we were saying, the shame and the ignorance that Eve had with the strength and the power of Lilith revealing our vulnerabilities, how that kind of, that's that Shaddai energy again, really, too, how it's all tying in, the living soul power. Hey,
Well, you've really hit on the basic meaning of Yesud, because one of the qualities is that Yesud is the channel for the divine creativity, which is manifested in Malkut. You see, we're going up the tree instead of starting at the top and the divine lighting coming down. So, just a quick Kabbalah lesson here. Up at the top, you have what's called the supernal triad, and that is the Godhead and Hakmah and Binah, which are the divine wisdom and understanding, and they begin the creative process. That is where it is born. That is where the manifested world is born, and that comes down through the lower seven Sephiro. And when they get to Yesud, there's Yesud and Malkut. That is where the birthing begins to come into manifestation. And so this is creativity, and it's the union of feeling, thought, and action that comes down into Malkut.
I'm just trying to get it up here so
Okay.
people can see it. There and so tricky.
Oh, the Tree of Life diagram?
Yeah, we're just going to.
Amina, could you please say the last bit again? I got the triangle at the top with the understanding and wisdom.
Yeah, okay, there's the diagram.
Yeah.
So up here, Kether is the Godhead, the infinite light. And from Kether comes Hakmah and Binah, which is wisdom and understanding. And the two of them then are involved in creating and birthing all of the universe, all of manifested creation, and all of that comes down through the lower seven, as you see, beginning. And if we can scroll down a little bit more now, Anna, to go down. So all of those come down through these other Sephiro, and all of those qualities come into being through each of these Sephiro. And we continue to go down, and you'll see where then all of those merge into Yesud, which is where we are with the second power. And all of it comes into Yesud and then gets birthed into Malkut. So that's just a thumbnail sketch. Of course, it's a lifetime to get all of this, if you ever do. And this is just one way of explaining creation. It's the way of the mystical side of Judaism that it comes through in the Hebrew and in this form. So,
Wow.
Thank you.
and I believe, Anna, when you first sent out stuff after the first, or I think you sent it out before we had our first power, did you send out that diagram as well? I thought that you did.
I think I did. Yes. KJ said
Okay.
he has it. KJ is the good secretary.
Good. Okay. if there's anyone who didn't get the materials and would like to have them,
Yeah,
that's
Gitanjali. Yeah, Gitanjali's got it too. And Susan's got it. Oh, Susan, do you want to ask something? Susan hasn't got it.
okay.
All right, we'll send it to you, Susan.
Good, thank you. Vernice also.
Lisa hasn't got it.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, if this is your first time, or if you came after the first session, then you wouldn't have had these. Okay. Wonderful. Well, we're about to run out of time. Do we have any more questions or sharing that anyone would like to do?
No, I think we're good.
Okay.
We're going to finish a little bit with that chant, Shaddai El Chai, that was from Bandcamp. So if I can...
Yeah, I will post on Facebook tomorrow the Bandcamp camp chant, and also I'll send it out to my email list. So Anna will send it to her list as an MP3, and you can also get it through Facebook. Or you can go straight to Bandcamp. You don't have to go to Facebook.
Yeah, I'll just see if I can get it up right now. Shaddai El Chai. Okay, and play. Can you hear it?
A little more. A little bit more. Anna, you turned your mic off.
Can't hear it. say till we meet again on the full moon in 2 weeks.
Yes.
So Faranissa, I'll send you the documents that you might not have on the first and second power. And Susan, do we have your email? Have you been getting things from Amina or myself?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, great. So make sure you have both of those too. Lovely, thank you so much. There are many who gave their apologies for not being able to be here this morning because of other Zooming commitments and things. But we'll keep sharing the recordings and blessings on your practice and the power of Mary Magdalene to support you in these times.
Oh, and one quick plug. Anna has set up a YouTube channel for Dancing with Mary Magdalene. And I searched for it the other day and it came right up, Dancing with Mary Magdalene. So you can see actually the previous couple of Zoom meetings that we've had are on there. Some videos of some dances that have been led. So enjoy that as another way of exploring with Mary Magdalene. Good night, all.
Yum.
Thanks very much. See you. Bye. Kasih sayano.
Yeah, Mariam.
Mariam.